Hello, everyone. This is JT,
This is Huey.
This is David.
This is Cesar.
and you're tuning in for episode 2 of Dink or Swim.
Dink or swim.
So today is a little more introductory podcast for any new pickleball players out there. Yeah. So let's get started.
Yeah, so let's just, again, quick introduction of who you are, how long you've been playing. So again, my name is Cesar. I've been playing, seriously started around December of last year. So that is, what is that, like 6.5 months? 6.5 months of pretty consistent playing.
And then I started in January 4th to be exact, at the hub. So, yeah. So when did you start, Huey?
November 2022.
November. Oh,
So a year and a half. Yeah.
got that time in, huh?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
It's been a journey.
I love it that we all know the exact dates and times. So once again, my name is David. I actually started playing pickleball July 30th at 4 p.m.
4:02.
at the hub.
Oh, that was launch day, right?
Yeah, it was
Launch day, yeah.
first day.
Nice. Got a founding member, so to speak, over here. But cool. We wanted to also talk a little bit about why are we here? Why are we doing this podcast? What are we looking to bring to the table? So Huey, you want to start us off?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Why did I start? Or like why I wanted to do the podcast?
Yeah.
First reason was like I wanted to do the podcast is to like get people to know who we are and get to like relate with them, right? There's a lot of people out there that they find the sport and they're not used to it, and like if you can show people the way, give them like the gentle push, then like that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do it.
That's a good, very good reason.
Yeah.
And you, David?
Yeah, and likewise, I think for us, this is a sort of form of documenting as well as creating exposure for other people out there. And we're not necessarily pros or anything. We've only been playing pickleball for a short, like maybe year, 2 years. And there's no other platform out there like this right now where you can actually relate to the players and see like our growth and our mission moving forward with pickleball.
Solid.
And for me as a player, I'm still growing right now in pickleball. I'm still learning. I'm not in the right minds to teach anyone, but I want to give you my personal opinions, my recommendations. Especially, I was very new to this game. I had no background in pickleball, in any racket sport. So coming here, especially I'm not from Northern California, so I didn't have any friends. I didn't know anyone walking into this sport. So I want to give you guys my point of view and how it was when I walked in through that door. So you guys, when you guys take your first step, you guys are not unsure. You guys already have a little introductory view of it, and now you just gotta walk through. And that's our purpose here. What we're trying to inspire others to do as well.
I mean, you definitely had friends. Come on.
Not in the pickleball community. Though.
Okay. Well, not in the Bay Area, right?
Not in the Bay Area. So
Okay. So
Yeah,
you did it to meet people, right?
yeah, I did it more to meet people, and it ended up being an addiction to improve my game in pickleball. But knowing that there's a bunch of people out there that are coming from different angles, different point of views, and some people are trying to gain a fitness through this. Some people are trying to gain friends through this. Some people are actually trying to go pro in this. So we're trying to help you guys out if you're still indecisive of joining the sport of pickleball. So
Yeah. I love that. I mean, for me, there's a few reasons why I want to do the podcast. I mean, the first and foremost reason is to just spread the awareness, right? There's a lot of misconceptions and a lot of misunderstandings on the sport, and I want to share the good things, the positivity, and what it does outside of the sport, right? Because yes, there's a huge element of the sport itself and the game and evolution of the game and progressing yourself as a player, right? But there's also this aspect of what it does to the community and what it does to build a stronger bond of people that have the same goal in mind and the same progressive mindset of improving themselves, 1% better every single day, right? So that's the first and foremost, is just to spread that knowledge and that positive energy. But like a lot of what you guys have said, it's also just to document my experience and hopefully be not really a voice of reason, but just someone that can share my experiences. And I'm sure there's going to be others that have similar experiences. I'm pretty new. Like I said earlier, I've only been playing the sport for 6 months. It's going on 7 months. And as you can tell, or if you don't know, you can't really tell, but I don't have any racket sports background, just like JT. And, it was kind of difficult for me to learn, to be honest. Like first,
What did you struggle like the most with?
I mean, honestly, I think for me, it was when you first start off, your goal is just to get the ball over the net. And I didn't know how to do didn't know how to do that very well. It was going all over the place. It was going like in the net. It was going way out of the court. So yeah, as you can tell, it wasn't very easy in the beginning, and hopefully I could relate to some people out there and just share my journey and hopefully inspire some others to do the same, and inspire others of their own to play the sport, and just be part of this movement, I guess, so to speak. But that leads me to my next question. What do you expect our listeners and viewers to get out of this podcast? So we can start with, I can start. Hopefully, I hope our listeners, number one, get inspired, right? To share the positivity, to share the community aspect of the sport, and to share the hunger and the passion that we feel
For growth.
and for evolving and for that 1% better every single day. And hopefully that translates into other areas of your life. And that's really the main thing. Just want you to all be a part of our journey and see the growth that hopefully we all become capable of, and inspired to do yourself, is grow and become the best version of yourself.
And I hope through us four, you guys could really see how diverse pickleball is, because all our personalities are very different. We approach the game in a different way. We had different lives prior to pickleball, and we still have different lives even in pickleball. So we want you guys to feel comfortable, and we also want you guys to have fun and be exposed to the sport, because we all grew our own addiction to the sport and love for the sport. And I really wish everyone would be able to have that ability as well. Not only on the friend side of it, it's on the more the athletic side of it and the progression side of it. And I feel like at any age, any body type, doesn't matter where you are, who you are in the world, I feel like anyone could get into the sport. And you just, hopefully, and through us four, you guys could be able to be inspired and get into it. And hopefully we get to see you out there. That's the whole goal. I want to be able to play with you guys out there, because I have a friend group and I want it to grow along with you guys. And there's many people out there I haven't yet met, and hopefully we could see each other out there, because we're practically there every day. So hopefully we could see you out there, and that there's someone out there that's gonna help you out and play with you. This is a very community sport, and I'm not gonna speak on other sports, but the sport I'm playing is pickleball, and I could tell you it changed my life, and I hope it could change yours as well. And we all didn't know each other prior to this sport, so hopefully, maybe in the future you guys can hop out on the podcast and speak your story and how it inspired you, because everyone has their own story and how this, changed their life. So yeah.
We all have come from super different backgrounds.
Yeah.
Whether that be we were athletes before or not even an athlete at all. But as you can see, pickleball is the fastest growing sport in America right now, or I would say even the world. And there's a reason that's the case. And with this platform, it's our way of sharing why that's occurring right now. And we are riding this wave up with the whole community. And we want everyone else to come along with that as well.
Yeah, I want to add on to that. Like, there's so many ways to being a leader in this community, whether you're into fitness, whether it's like you're philosophical, and like whether you just want to dress nice. There's so many ways to like add into it, right? And it's a open place and a safe place to do that.
And you mentioned earlier, Huey, we were both tired, right? You told me I was very tired, you know, after work, and I was looking sleepy. But what gives us energy?
Pickleball.
Like, it's a weird thing, it's a crazy thing, and I know all of us could relate to that. We could be tired, but like all of a sudden we think, and once we're on those courts, all of a sudden we get that burst of energy, like everyone, you know, and you know we just get. Everyone gets that fire of energy, and it's very addicting, and you know it's very fun to watch. And even if you're not playing, I hope you guys could just come out to watch it. You know, just come and watch it, because that's the thing that prior to pickleball I did not do, and I blocked it out. You know, I didn't actually give it a chance. So hopefully you guys could give it a chance through our voices and through our experiences. And this is why we brought this podcast to you guys, and you know we want you guys to share it to others.
It's funny because everyone here has had that experience, like one more game, just one more, and then out of nowhere, it's like 3 hours later.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long 3-hour game, you know, just kept it going. But yeah, let's get on to our topic for today. So what do you expect as a new player? What should you expect as a new player coming into the sport? What do you think?
There's a lot of rules.
Rules.
Yeah, rules.
Okay. What do you think is like the most important rule?
At the beginning, it's like the score, right? Keeping track of the score, and then also there's the pickle rule. So,
Pickle rule.
Yeah, how many people know about the pickle rule? You know, the second bounce.
Oh, yeah, the double bounce.
Double bounce.
Yeah.
So
That is, I feel like a lot of tennis players have a hard time with that one.
Yes.
Like coming into the sport, they always, I forgot the double bounce, right? And like that always happens. So I agree. So to explain that, each side, so the serving side has to, once you serve, the returning side, has to let the ball bounce once. Then you hit the ball over the net, right? And the serving team also has to let the ball bounce once. And then you could hit it over the net. And then from there, you could start the volleys. So, double bounce rule.
Yeah, I struggled with that for a whole 2 months, by the way.
Oh, yeah,
Before
tennis.
I actually like got it down, because like my body's naturally like sees a high ball, I wants to charge in there and volley that thing.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a big one. Definitely double bounce rule. You talked about scoring a little bit. Does anyone want to explain scoring? Because it is confusing. There's 3 numbers, and I know most sports it's usually just like 1 or 2 numbers. So there's 3 numbers.
I could speak on one part of it. It's, you know, through volleyball, the serving team is the one that scores the points. You know, if you're receiving, you're not scoring the points. Each server, so there's 2 servers, you know, in doubles, there's 2 people on each side. And each person will have a chance to serve and score points. Then if it's side out, then it goes to the other team and they get their opportunity to score points. Start of the game always starts at the second server. Server is on the right side, serving diagonal from them. And I think
Yeah,
third
so
number?
there's 3 numbers in the score. For example, when the game starts, it's going to be called 002. The reason for that is the third number, just all it means is the number of the person that's serving on that team. So
What do you
basically,
have left?
Huh?
Like, what do you have left?
Yeah,
right?
what do you have left?
Yeah, so like first server or second server. So 0-0 first server. You could, if it makes it easier for you, that's how it made it easier for me when I first started. I was 0-0 first server. So you say the score.
That's a good point.
0-0 first server, 0-0 second server. But in this case, at the start of the game, you always start at the second server.
It's to make
regardless.
it fair, because if the first team has 2 serves to begin with, then it's not really fair.
Yeah.
But the first number is your score. The second number is
Your opponent's.
opponent's score.
Correct.
And then the third number, again, is which number server it is.
The position, yeah.
Yeah.
Just a first or second server.
I like that. I never thought of that. I think that's a good, as a new player, I would highly recommend you doing that. 0-0 first server, 0-0 second server, so that way it's easy. The first server on each side is always the server on the right.
Yeah, even.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you start at the beginning, right, and you're always on the right side, it's gonna be even. If you're on the left side, it's gonna be odd.
For score.
Yeah, for score.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And this only applies to your own score,
Yes.
by the way.
Yes.
That's a little confusing part for a lot of people.
That is a little confusing.
It's like the same thing with like singles and doubles,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Well, you guys kind of understand it because you guys have like the tennis background or the badminton background.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was so confusing. I had no what 0, 4, 15, what?
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so score. So you got the score down. You got the double bounce down. What else should you expect?
What the hell is kitchen? What is that? Everyone's talking about
Kitchen.
kitchen nowadays.
Yes, I think that is
Kitchen or the sink?
It's the non-volley zone.
the non-volley zone. Okay,
Yeah.
Huey, talk about it.
So it's the front part. It's from the net and then to the first line, right? And you can volley outside of it. You can earny it. You come to the side. You can hit, right? And then the only thing that you can't do is volley inside of it. And then if it bounces in the non-volley zone, that's when you can hit it. So
as long as it
I'm not sure.
bounces, you could be inside the kitchen and hit the ball.
yeah,
Exactly.
But if it doesn't bounce and you're trying to hit it in the air, volley, right? So new players sometimes don't know what the term volley means.
Mm-hmm.
Volley means hitting it in the air, right? So in the kitchen, you can't volley in the kitchen. You can't hit the ball in the air while you're inside the kitchen. Now, let me ask you a question, David. If the ball is in the air, can you step in the kitchen, step out of it, or step in the kitchen, wait for it to bounce, and then hit it? Or do you have to be outside of the kitchen?
Yeah, so here's the thing, misconception. Everyone thinks that you can't stand in the kitchen when the ball bounces, but you can stand as much as you want.
Yes.
You can stand in there like fucking the whole game if you want.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't even I didn't know that was a thing until recently, a few months ago, because I heard differently. Someone told me you can't be in there at all until the ball bounces in there, but you can. So confirmed.
Yep.
Okay.
No floor is lava.
you can't pivot out of it though.
Wait, what do you mean?
You have to be stationed out. So like pivoting, like let's say like my foot's in the non-volley zone, right?
Uh-huh.
And my foot's here, and I pivot back and I hit.
Oh, but like you're still in there.
Yeah, it's
I
where
see.
it starts.
I see. Okay, as long as your feet and your feet, correct me if I'm wrong, it can't even be on the line at all.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a
So
good one.
I learned something new too right now.
Yeah, see, like a lot of us have played for
Yeah.
a while now.
Yeah.
A lot of us don't even know yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
And
I think I learned a lot from like tournaments and like getting called out. for them.
PPA rules and all
Yeah.
that stuff. Yeah.
The
Okay.
rest
Oh,
will
you
be like right away. Like even if like you touch it, they're on it.
okay.
Yeah.
But what if so you talked about the pivot. What if right when you hit the ball, you like take your foot off
Oh no, it has to be stationed. I think you have to have both feet.
while you're in motion?
Yeah, in motion.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
you can't pivot out.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
Okay, that makes sense now.
yeah,
Well, there you go. I learned something new today.
yeah.
Okay.
All right. So kitchen, we got the score.
Serving. Let's bring that serving. We'll
Oh.
transition to David on serving.
Ah.
I never played tennis. I know I can't speak too much on tennis. It's a lot of overhead serves. I know in pickleball it's a lot of below the waist. Can you speak more about serving the difference between tennis serving and pickleball serves?
Yeah, so a tennis serve, so it's just a serve in general, right? It's the only time where you have full control over the ball in both tennis and pickleball. So within tennis rules, you're able to toss the ball into the air and do an overhead, which is going to create a tremendous amount of pace, and you're hitting down on the ball. And in pickleball, however, they have basically slowed down the game, and by doing so, they have forced a rule basically to make everyone serve below the waist. But when you serve below the waist, you have many options. You can bounce it, you can drop it out of your hand, either or.
And when you say below the waist, that's point of contact.
Point of contact,
Right. So
yeah.
that's when your paddle hits the ball. It has to be below your waist.
Correct.
But you could technically drop it from up here or wherever, like let go of it. But when you hit the ball, it has to be below the waist. Is that correct? Or do you have to drop it?
I just know that you can't hold it and drop it like this, right? You can't throw it up like this because it will spin.
You can't
You can't get
create
any
artificial spin, right?
Yeah,
Is what it was.
It has to be downward.
Mhm.
And
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't think. Is there an issue?
I've never
I
seen
don't. I mean,
anyone-
I've never seen anyone
Yeah.
do this before.
Yeah.
But
See,
I just know you get delayed if you drop it from here, right?
yeah.
the timing is
Yeah.
kind of weird.
See, the thing is, the rules are changing all the time.
That
with
is
pickleball
true.
because the game is still so new for like the professional scene. So even we aren't really clear on this answer.
yeah, no, that's true. But going back to the serve, what is out of bounds? Because that's confusing too.
Oh,
It can touch the kitchen. It counts if you serve diagonal and it touches the kitchen, right?
Wait, really?
Yeah, if it touches that line, it's in.
I thought you can't touch the kitchen line at all.
No,
Or-
the
or is
kitchen
it-
the opposite. So the kitchen
Opposite?
line, if it's touch kitchen line, then
It's out.
It's considered in
Okay.
the kitchen. So that's out.
Yes, but everything else is fine. So if it touches the center line, it's fine.
Yeah, that's
If
it.
it touches the
Okay.
back,
Yeah.
the baseline, it's fine. And if it touches the sidelines, it's
Correct.
fine.
That's
right?
the win. Yes.
Okay. Whew. I
Okay.
was like, wait a minute,
Wait,
this,
wait,
this
yeah.
is new.
I think I was wrong.
but
It's been a long day.
yeah.
one
Okay.
tip I learned from tournament like a tournament player that plays a long time, like it's not always good to hit the lines, right? Or aim for the edges because the other team's gonna call it out, right? So try your best to just get it in at the beginning stages. Just try to get it in instead of trying to hit the edges because most people are gonna call it out,
Yeah.
right? So don't make it so where they have to actually decide and they're just gonna call it out, So make sure to just get it in. Whole aspect is you serve diagonally from you, you're at the right side serving diagonal from you. So
I think the other thing too for serving, if one of you wants to explain, what's the whole thing about? Like, do I stand back? Do I stand forward? Like, how does that work? You know what I'm talking about? As a returning, as
Serve
a
and
serving
receive.
team, you're both at the baseline.
Yeah.
As a returning team, usually one person is at the kitchen. What's the philosophy around that? Why do we do that?
I think it's better to stand a little bit further away from the baseline because, like, let's say if they do hit a very deep serve,
Yes.
it's right at your feet, and things around your feet, it's very hard to get.
Mm-hmm.
If it's in front of you, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wilson actually taught me that. Shout out Wilson.
yeah.
But yeah, so as a serving team, David, correct me if I'm wrong, both players on the serving side have to be behind the baseline. Do they have to be? Just the server, right?
Just the server.
Okay. But as the other player on the serving side, you should be behind the baseline because let's say the other team returns the ball deep to you want to be ready for that ball.
Correct.
Generally speaking, right?
Because you have to let it bounce.
Because you have to let it
Yes.
bounce. You can't volley that ball.
and you get temptations. The more closer you get to the net, you temptation to. As
Yes.
Being a new player for me, just playing volleyball, I just like this. Oh, it's up there. I'm gonna slam
Smash.
it, right? Smash, right? So you don't get that temptation. You have
Yeah.
you have much room to work with. Stay back.
Right.
So serving side, both players back.
Yeah, and these are all rules. Honestly, I think a lot of other YouTube videos will do a better job where you have a visual to actually.
That
learn
is
it
true.
Rather than us talk about it here. But there are other concepts too, like dinking, for instance. Like, what's the whole idea of dinking, guys? Like, just for someone who is watching a TikTok video of pickleball, they don't understand why the game is being tapped back and forth in the kitchen.
I mean, for me, like just a quick philosophy on it. You want to keep the ball low and you want a ball that is not attackable. That's like, to me, that's the essence of dinking is you just don't want to put the ball in a space where it could be attacked by the other team.
And to also connect with that, it's also I also see it as a mental part of the game, right? It's what is thinking you're slowing the game down, right? Everyone, well, at least me, I came into the game all ripping everything, hitting everything hard. So it tests your level of patience, like a lot of people are not used to that slow, controlled game. So doing the thinking, some people will fall during those situations, So I always see it's like a mental, it's a mental battle with another player.
They get impatient.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to wait for your setup. You got to wait for the right opportunity, right? And I think it's a very comparable measure for your life. You don't just strike at every single opportunity out there. You wait for the best one.
Yeah.
Because there's like some people that are gonna be like walls and you can't get past them. Like one thing about dinking is pulling your opponent's shading apart and finding gaps.
And then attacking the gaps. Yeah, so it's definitely something you could expect as a new player. You're going to see that a lot. The rules, hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. Obviously, David, you're right. I mean, it'd probably be easier with a visual. But what about gear? Like, what should you get first as a player? Let's say, because I mean, there's so many different paddles, there's so many different brands, there's so many different actual balls, right? Then you talk about the footwear. What do you guys think is the most important first thing to get, or at least think about?
Here, I can share my experience. So I'm someone who has only had 2 paddles in my whole pickleball career. I've been playing for like 11 months, and I see everyone else have 7, 8, 9, 10 paddles already, or trying different things.
Wait, you only have 2?
Oh, I've only had 2.
Seriously?
Yes. Well, maybe excluding the one I bought on Amazon. That was like a little 2 for $30 pack. I've had 2 actual paddles I played with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
I didn't know that.
with that, I recommend anyone to start playing pickleball. Just buy a very basic thing on Amazon. Try it out for less than 30 days. And then while you're in the community, you can
Get
meet
recommendations.
people, get recommendations, pick other people's brains, and maybe try a paddle or 2 out. And then you figure out what you like from there.
I feel like the community is pretty good about letting you try out
Yeah.
a paddle or 2, or
Like Austin.
Austin,
yeah.
the paddle merchant,
Yeah. Paddle master.
paddle master. He knows every stat. This one weighs 2.2 grams heavier than that one. But I think paddle is a lot of new players. I think they overspend on their first paddle, or like they just try to get like the top of the line without understanding what it does, and it definitely makes a difference. Like the paddle does make a difference, and you should, in my opinion, you should buy an expensive paddle once you kind of figured out your style of play, because it's all different, right?
Yeah, don't make the mistake I also made is buy a bunch of paddles. I'm like stuck with 8 paddles, all different ones, and and still indecisive. So the whole community is super fun. They'll let you try out paddles. You just gotta ask, and then they'll be willing to let you try out. It's better than spending, because the price range on paddles is at least like, I'd say, for the really good ones, to $150 to $300, right? You're gonna spend at minimum $150. So, or like really like good ones. So just try them out, save your money. The more you progress in the game, your game is gonna change, and you're gonna like different paddles. So instead of just spending it all in the beginning, they sell them at Target. Go grab some at Target.
You can also go like to like facilities. They have like demo programs. The hub.
Yeah.
Like if you're a member, it's $5, and then you can continuously rotate different ones.
Yeah.
If you're not a member, it's $10.
Yeah.
So yeah, stuff like that too.
I would also say too, don't try too many paddles either, because I think that's another big problem that some new players have as well. Is they try to try every single paddle, and they don't develop any form of consistency. So I think it's important to get one that you at least want to learn with, and like stick with that one for a few months, and then kind of branch out. I don't know what you guys think about that.
Correct. And most paddles, to be honest, it's all made with very similar technology. And in the end, it's going to be your technique that's going to create you as a better player.
For sure.
And it's not the paddle itself. It's the player. And you get better by becoming better, not getting better equipment.
Right. What other gear? I mean, I can kind of talk on one. Shoes. What do you guys think? Shoes.
Very important.
100%.
I know, Huey.
Yeah.
I mean,
I have like 10 pairs of a gel resolution 9.
10 pairs?
Yeah.
Like, do you cycle through all 10?
I cycle like based on what I'm wearing.
Do
like
you
color coding.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
But like the reason why I got it was because like I want to go like very high tier for shoes, because one, I'm going to be running in them every day. I don't want any injuries. I want it to last, and I want it to feel good, right? So it's all investment. Investment. So I don't like, like spending that money, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to injure yourself, right? I mean, it's what's going to cost more, some shoes or fixing your broken ankle or knee, or whatever. Like, knock on wood, right? Hopefully none of that happens, but you want to protect yourself, and
all the impact too.
Yeah. What do you think is important in a shoe, David? What do you think is important for you, like when you're deciding on a shoe?
Something, I guess, where your feet can conform to. I deal with a lot of like plantar fasciitis and other like ankle injuries was mainly because I play with shoes and it'll burn out, and then like I'll have a hole in the toe, and then I wouldn't replace it right away, and like just things like that.
Yeah.
So there's many brands out there that have like 6 months warranty, and you just find one and then you just keep using that shoe if it's comfortable.
Is there any brands you recommend for our listeners?
The Gel Resolutions 9s,
A6.
those.
A6.
Yeah.
I'm using Mizuno's right now.
Mizuno.
Those are really good.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Boba. I know Austin put me on Bob. It's called Bobalot. Me personally,
Babolat.
I have wide feet. So like if those out there who have wide feet, they have like a wide version of it. I know Asics also has one as well. So Asics is a good brand. I've had no problems with it. Has good traction. I would recommend that, and the price is around like $100. So that's
Nike has their own shoes too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nike has a few good ones. The thing about Nike though is they have like a very wide range. They have some really cheap tennis shoes, and then they have some really expensive ones. So kind of what Huey said, I'd invest in the ones that can protect your feet. What about shorts, shirt? What do you guys think? Goggles. Ooh, goggles.
Protection.
Eyewear.
Yeah.
Has anyone here gotten hit in the eye?
Yep.
I think all of us.
All of us? Yeah. I got hit in the eye from my fiance. It was full force.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Like slammed in the face. Kitchen line, full force slam in my face. I couldn't see for like 20 seconds. But yeah, goggles is underrated, I think. Or any eyewear.
Was it on like accident or purpose?
You know, I don't know.
probably what happened. He set her up. It was up there. It was like
Because like sometimes when you get hit in the eye, it's like it bounces off like someone else or it bounces off the net.
Oh no, it was straight to my face.
Oh, straight to the face.
But I don't know if she did it on purpose to hit me in the face, but it was straight to my face for sure.
Did it bruise?
It did. Yeah, it did actually. It wasn't too bad. Like it hit me at the right angle or right velocity or whatever, that it wasn't too bad. But I couldn't see out of it for a little bit. So it is scary. I mean, what's like the average speed for us? Do you know how fast pickleballs go?
I think serves around like 50, right?
Really? Yeah, I mean, it's
A
quick.
good serve.
It's definitely quick. It's up there for sure.
Yeah.
But
It's
just
higher than that, yeah.
and it's
But
a
a
hard,
smash
it's
flow
not
is
like
different.
a soft ball. It's a plastic hard ball. I mean, it could do some damage.
Yeah.
And you get a lot of you play badminton.
Yeah.
Really good at overhead slams. A lot of volleyball players good at overhead slams. Tennis players good at overhead slams. So it's like, like physics. You hit a ball hard, the ball that's coming back to you is harder. So
Yeah.
I'd rather
where
be
I
hit by
predict
like a
it, the best
volleyball
at
than a pickleball.
Yeah, it hurts, man. It really does hurt. So just be careful for sure. But yeah, goggles. I would recommend wearing shorts or at least something comfortable to move your legs in. What's often as a new player, you probably aren't really bending your knees as much. I know, David, you're a big advocate for bending your knees. And when I first started playing, David, you kind of showed me a lot. I'm still working on it, but you showed me a lot on getting low and doing that type of work. So, David, would you agree? Like, probably get something that you could bend your knees a lot and.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. So honestly, most gym clothes is the perfect type of pickleball wear that you would wear nowadays. But there's no actual formal pickleball clothes out there.
That is
yet.
true.
So
Yeah.
add on to that.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for like the gear side of it. Again, don't spend too much on a paddle when you're first starting out. The actual balls themselves. Is there a brand you guys recommend?
Franklin's.
Yeah.
X40s.
That's go to.
Yeah.
There's two type of pickleballs too. There's an outdoor ball and an indoor ball.
See, that's
Really?
the thing I really like.
Yeah.
If you were to ask me, I wouldn't know really. Well, I could kind of
But
tell,
aren't
but like
the
really
X40s outdoor balls?
Outdoor balls.
But we use them
the-
indoor.
The ground indoor for the hub is cement. So for the outdoor ball, the indoor ball, you use them at like gyms, like basketball gyms.
Oh, like wood.
Yeah,
or-
wood.
Wait,
like laminated.
Is
floor.
is that
plastic,
common though? Do people play pickleball on those types of floors? Because I've never done that. I don't know.
I think
One
at
time.
YMCA, like they do that. That's
Oh.
yeah.
Okay. I mean, what does that do? Is it better for the spin, or is there a reason? Does it matter?
I know. So like, the reason why outdoor balls they're more durable. They have less holes, right? So that means that wind doesn't get into them as much, so it can go through it, right? For outside, the indoor ball, it's thinner and it has bigger holes. Yeah.
But generally speaking, would you say like 80% of the game is played outdoor with outdoor balls? Okay.
Yeah. Currently.
So buy an outdoor ball.
Yeah.
X40s.
Just X40, nothing
Yeah.
else.
Keep it simple. X40. Yeah.
The one on Amazon's like the one that they sell in like 4-packs of like paddles. They give indoor balls.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, they do.
I did not know that. Okay. So now you know. So use an outdoor ball, get a paddle, invest in high quality shoes.
Yes.
That will be the difference maker for sure, especially as you progress your game and you start to move around a lot more in the court. That'll be huge. Now, last part, you're a new player, you got your gear, you got your paddle, you got your pickleballs, you got your goggles, right? Maybe a hat. How do you find a court?
Do you speak on it, Hugh?
The one that I found out first was Places to Play. It's an app on the iPhone.
Oh,
Specifically on the iPhone. You can't get it on Android. I already checked. And it shows you the location based on where you're at. So it's gonna ask for you for location, and it'll show yellow and red tick marks. Right. Yellow is anything that is free facilities, parks, outdoors. Right. Red is paying facilities.
is
Like
that
the hub.
is that app? It's not just for pickleball, right? It has other sports in it.
No, specifically pickleball.
Really?
So you can take this anywhere. Like, let's say not even just like here. I've used it in Hawaii. I've used it in Michigan, Las Vegas, and I found a court. And it tells you, like, the times to go, and then there's like friendliness. How are the courts? Like, the environment, and then it's very helpful.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's it called again?
Places to Play.
Places to Play on the App Store.
Yeah.
Apple only.
It's Places to Play, one word, and then it's 2.
And we can link all these resources in the
Yeah, we'll link
later.
them all. Okay, so Places to Play is one.
Pickleball bracket. No, not pickle. I'm sorry.
Pickleheads. Yeah.
Pickleheads.com. Search it up. Link in the bio. Also, similar thing. I haven't really gone too depth. I think that website you shared has actually more resources on it. This will show like the courts, every court in your radius at least, and it'll show hours of the courts. But I think yours will have more resources regarding the courts, like more details on the courts.
You know what I think about it? When I first heard, or how I first heard of the hub was through Pickleheads.
Pickleheads, yeah.
But I didn't even know the hub existed, and I was randomly looking for a place to play because I started playing at Mitchell Park, and then I was like, where else can I play around here? Because it's kind of far. And that's how I found out about it. Now I think about it. Okay.
I'll show all the pickleball courts, indoor, outdoor, so you guys can see, which ones that you could reserve courts at, and so I know yours. I don't think Picklehead shows like the friendliness of when to come, like which are beginner friendly or not. So.
It depends who's like updating the software. Yeah. So it's controlled by
It's
people.
community
Yeah,
owned.
it's community.
Ah, interesting. Okay. I didn't know about that one. Places to Play 2. App. Okay.
Yeah. So
David, is there any other ones you can think of, or are those like the two main ones?
I don't even use any of those, but I would say that now that we have these locations that we know where to play at. So what is, we say, the etiquette?
Oh, good question. Yeah.
yeah.
You bring your paddle, you bring your gear, your balls, or your goggles, maybe some water, and then what now? What now? How do you get into a game? How do you play?
Well, speaking on the hub, there's levels to the game: 2.5, 3.0, 3.5, 4.0. I can't speak any further than that because I'm not any of those levels above that. But when you first start, I believe everyone's a 2.5, right? I know some parks don't have it like that. I don't know if you can speak upon that.
Yeah. So the hub there's 20 courts, right? 7 of them are scheduled base. Those are reserved for clinics, leagues, ladders, and then the other 13 courts are based on skill rating. And the goal for that is to create a system. So like, let's say if like the very good players are playing on the beginner courts, it creates a whole rift of everything, right? Then the beginners will start seeping over to the higher level courts, and it breaks the whole system. And the hub has a paddle rack system. Usually it is 2 on, 2 off. If there's 4 or more paddles, it's 4 on, 4 off.
Yeah.
So is this the same thing at public parks? Because most of the viewers that
Probably
people
don't
are
have
getting into
access to the
pickleball,
hub.
they don't have access to the hub.
Yeah. I would say, generally speaking, at a park, they don't really have tiers like that.
It's usually they usually do like 4 on, 4 on.
Oh no, I'm talking. Yeah, 4 on, 4 off is pretty common. So you put 4 paddles on, and the 4 that are playing will hop off. If there's 2, then the winning team stays on to hop on. But I don't think they usually have like a 2.5.
Oh, like the ratings.
Yeah, like a rating, like a rating system. But generally speaking, etiquette: you put your paddle down. Don't move the paddles that are already there. Is a big one. Don't touch that. And then I think the other one is trying. Okay, it depends, right? But double paddling, like that's kind of a no-no. Everyone wants to play. It kind of sucks if you have been there, you've been waiting for 40 minutes, and you've only played one game. Or an hour. You only played one game, right? Everyone's trying to get their fair share of pickleball. So I think that's probably a big part of etiquette. So if you're doing that now, please don't do that. It kind of slows it down for everybody, especially the ones that are trying to learn the game and get in. And think about it. You're a brand new player. You go into the game, chances are if you're playing opponents that are somewhat decent, you're probably going to get bageled or like, maybe score 1 or 2 points. The game's going to be fast. So imagine waiting 40 minutes to play a game and your game lasts 5 minutes. As a new player, you're probably not going to be very motivated to come back.
Right.
You can't really learn from that either.
Exactly.
There's like too many things going on.
Yeah. So I would say that's etiquette. Also, try to know who you're playing against.
Yeah.
Like, are you brand new? Are you, super experienced? How many years have you been playing? Because again, to that point, you don't want to make the game unenjoyable for either side, for the person that's higher level and for the person that's brand new.
Yeah, and to add on to that as well, I would think everyone should already expect that pickleball is super high in demand right now. So almost any public court that you go to is going to have a long queue. So if possible, I know everyone has work and everything, but we really recommend for new players to find like an off-hour time where you actually come, hit the ball a couple of times, learn the rules first, and then you come during your busy time, then you can queue up and play.
Yeah.
But I know it's very tough for many people.
Would you recommend a new player to come with a group, or would you recommend them to just come straight up by themselves?
I recommend you just come in general, but yeah, I would come in a group.
You can do both. Just find people your level.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's the big thing, is just to find players that
Find
are...
your equals.
Yeah.
Be honest. Just say I'm a beginner. I just started a game. People will tell you where to go, where to stuff. Some people actually, experienced people will say, "Come with me, I'll teach you." That's how it was for me, and especially I was a beginner, and David was actually one of the first experienced. Well, at least when I started, he was an experienced player.
He's pretty experienced.
You remember? You remember? I was so embarrassed when I was his partner, dude.
I was only like a 3.5, and he thought I was a 5.0.
Dude, I was so embarrassed, and then I was like, dude, I embarrassed myself after that. I felt like, I can't play with this guy anymore.
Yeah, but I would say that.
Yeah, adding on to that as well, though, come by yourself. That's what it's all about. That's why pickleball is like so intriguing to most, because you can come by yourself and make friends and talk to people, and people will show you the ropes or like at least guide you in the right direction and how to start the game off.
Yeah, I would say either or. It's nice to come with other people because you can grow together and make it more of a camaraderie type thing. But yeah, to David's point, everyone's here to play and learn and win.
Can I add one thing?
No, I'm just kidding.
I think one more etiquette is not walking on the court when there's a rally going on.
Ooh,
Right.
that's a big one. Actually, that's underrated.
It's just to be like considerate to the people that are playing. Like if you can just wait and like wait till after the ball is like dead to walk.
Yeah. And if you're, and a lot of times at these parks, most of the time, in many cases, there are tennis courts that get converted into pickleball courts, right? And so a lot of the courts are right next to each other without any
Barricades.
barricades or separation. And so when that happens, you're getting a lot of balls that go into other courts.
Mm-hmm.
So big etiquette is you need to let that court know that there's a ball, because you don't want anyone to trip and
Roll their ankle.
roll their ankle, or worse, mess up their knee or whatever, right? Like who knows what can happen. So you just want to be mindful of the players, and obviously you want to keep your game going too and get the ball. But don't, to Huey's point, don't just run on the court and try to grab it yourself.
And then if it does roll on, let's say someone ball does roll on their court, you stop it. You stop the game, and then you reserve it. No one gets a point. They don't get a point. You don't get a point. You just reserve it. One thing also to add on is when before the game even starts, introduce yourself to the opponent across from you. That's standard in a pickleball. That's why the community has been growing so much. You just introduce yourself, your name. That's the best opportunity to say, I'm a beginner at this game. I'm not too good at this game. If you could teach me a couple rules, I'm kind of behind on it. That's the best way to really get to know the opponent in front of you, see if they're experienced or not, and they can know if you're a beginner. So, beginner game, we always introduce yourself.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Great networking opportunity.
Yeah, and I think, what do you guys feel about like slamming it on a new player, or if you're a new player, just like full forcing it? I mean, or like just, I don't know. There's always controversy with that, right? It's just tough because, I mean, we don't want you to not try to hit the ball, right? But at the same time,
How are they going to learn?
how are you gonna learn? Yeah, how are you gonna learn? But don't try to kill someone. You know what I mean? It's tough. What do you guys think about that?
I still struggle with that to this day. So if I see someone like almost brand new, even like a month in, I wouldn't ever drive the ball at them or slam the ball at them. I would slow it down, because in the end, like, you don't want to really ruin their experience.
Yeah.
Because they want to be able to have fun, and you don't want to be the one to crush their dreams of like starting this new sport that they have gathered up all this courage to even try. So
you're really good at that, actually, now that I think about that.
Yeah, so that's what I've been doing. But then when I play some friends who are really trying to get better and that I see them invested into the game, then
you'll give them the heat.
Go all out.
Yeah. I will say, David, when I first started playing, I didn't know you were as good as you are, because you like catered to us, right? You're like kind of showing us the ropes, and then when I saw you play serious, I was like, he's pretty good. But when I saw you play for real, I was like, dang.
Thank you.
Different game,
Appreciate it.
But yeah, I would say that's a good rule of thumb. Just try not to discourage new players. But as a new player, you should kind of want a little bit of that.
Add on to one thing.
Yeah, go ahead. Go for it.
I remember I joined a 3-5 league.
Man.
It was not that level for that league. And Huey, this was the first time I actually played against Huey. The level's different, right? I was still a beginner. This guy's doing it through his legs, behind his back, dude. I was like, dude, what am I doing, dude? I was like,
he was flexing on you.
Yeah.
Like how we met. It was kind of like was like fate, honestly, because like I met JT from Instagram.
Oh,
I
really?
didn't meet him in person.
Oh yeah, dude, that was weird. Yeah.
And then I met him eventually in the league.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And to connect with that, there is pickleball communities everywhere you are on Facebook. This is how I discovered met Huey, was through pickleball. They have pickleball communities on Facebook. I know one we're in is San Jose Pickleball Community. Mm-hmm. You pay like $40 for the year, and then they add you to like a group chat. It's through not Viber. What's that?
What's up?
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp.
They add you to WhatsApp with all the parks, and there's group chats, and they say, oh, we're coming out at this time, beginner friendly. So if you guys are unsure, do that on Facebook. There's groups, you could join them in your area. So just play pickleball, so say San Jose group, where I'm from, Palmdale group, and you could join them. And then some people do drill. Oh, anyone want to drill at this time? You could do that. That's how I met him, and he put his Instagram. He's like, oh, any new players who want to get inspired, fitness, pickleball. That's how I met him. I follow his account. That's actually how I met him, through the WhatsApp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it all originated from Facebook.
I kind of like sent like a little pitch of like what my Instagram was when I was working at the hub. So I think that's how we connected.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much the main things for etiquette. Just in general, just come with an open mind, be respectful. Everyone here is there to have a good time, and just do your thing, right?
Yeah.
So that's all I got. Again, my name is Cesar.
I'm JT.
I'm David.
Huey.
And
See you guys later. Take your swim.
take your swim.
Swim.
See you.